Hello, everyone. What's going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to the TNT Podcast, episode 147. It's the end of an anime season. That means it's all about the Wii. No.
Oh my god, I just turned the
Disconnect.
soundboard off.
Disconnect. I'm gonna
The fake
disconnect.
out. And what the fucking? This is.
What is happening?
There's an avalanche.
Holy
I just pushed
shit!
my mouse
Are
off
you
the
okay?
desk. This is a podcast. I just
Oh,
somehow
man.
bumped my mouse off my desk and minimized Discord, so that was really
What-
good.
what
This is a
the fuck?
TNT podcast. On my right,
It's Friedman, also known as Andrew, mostly known as Friedman.
and on my left.
Oh god, just Tyler. Just kill me, God.
Wow.
Fuck.
And
Hi,
and,
I'm Aiden.
and Craig.
Hi.
I am in.
What's going on? I'm having a good day.
What a start. No, it's
Ah.
fine. No, it's a good time. I'm having a good time.
We're all having a good time, and man, imagine if I just pushed my mouth. I literally slipped and fell 2 minutes before this podcast. By the way, so
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
just spazzing the fuck out right now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Speaking of
this is-
spazzing the fuck out, though, the game with great ragdoll physics. I don't know. I was trying to think of how
What?
to make that out. When you
Let's talk about
tumble down
Nintendo, but be a little less mad than we usually are.
Is it less mad because
This-
Breath of the Wild 2 is delayed again?
I don't know, man.
I don't care. I have Elden Ring.
Damn.
Aiden's like, I will be the Elden Lord 10 times over by the time
I
this
am
shit
the
comes out.
Elden Lords.
Lords, plural.
Aiden's like,
across
there must be
multiple
one. There
characters.
must be one
Playthroughs.
build for each boss in the game.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What's
like the
what's
new
my
Nuzlocke.
playtime on Elden Ring now?
Oh, God.
270 hours.
Aiden's
Wow.
like, yo, for each great rune, I will be a rune master.
Yes. I will collect them all.
We literally only talked about the news for 30 seconds, but Nintendo just low key announced. What was it, last week or the week before?
It was last week.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2 delayed until next year, I believe.
Yeah,
Right?
they just gave 2023. They don't have a time frame yet.
So they're pulling a Shield Hero and just saying some year in the future.
Well, yeah, they had to. Do you see what Miyazaki just dropped on the fucking industry over here?
Right? No, this is literally the real life. Write that down. Write that down.
It's fine. Shit being delayed is whatever. Like,
Insert the
Yeah.
Miyamoto quote here.
as long as it doesn't enter development hell and we don't see it for another fucking 6 years, it'll probably be fine. Nintendo, in regards to the Legend of Zelda team seems to have their shit together pretty good right now. So
Yeah, it's like the Zelda team and like the core Mario team. They don't.
they're
miss.
killing it.
They don't. miss.
Absolutely killing it. So yeah, well, fucking cheers, Nintendo. Delay it all you want.
I can talk about the next one, but
Yeah.
in terms
What do we
in term-
got? What is
also
I don't
more
know.
disappointments, but from a different competitor. PlayStation there were a lot of leaks going around about what they were doing with PlayStation Now, which was their like on-demand gaming service, essentially rivaling Xbox Game Pass. But they had a big show off last week for how they're merging it into PlayStation Plus and just introducing new tiers. So for anyone who had PlayStation Plus right now and you want to keep it exactly the same, it's exactly the same, no price change. But now they have additional tiers that allow for streaming of PS5 games, and I know like the highest tier allows streaming of PS3 games, which I thought was kind of interesting. But as a lot of people on Reddit pointed out, like all the best PS3 games have already been like remastered. So
True.
it's a very narrow group of games that is like stuck on the PS3 that you can stream with this. But if you are that demographic, congratulations, you have an option. A lot of people are saying too little, too late. I'm honestly in the camp where, if you want a not games as a service, but like you want this kind of service and you are a PlayStation fan, congratulations, you have something. It's not like it's bad. If you also own a PC, I wouldn't say this is the most compelling thing, but it's not like this is a straight up bad offering like a certain Google offering may have been. But it is what it is.
Does anybody use PlayStation now? Like, do any of us here?
So
No.
this is where I was going to talk about my take. So
Oh,
I thought about it
interesting.
for a minute, and I was like, I would probably have Game Pass before I get this, and then it occurred to me why I don't have Game Pass. I don't have enough time to get through all the games I already own, let alone a lot of the new games coming out.
Facts.
So for someone who
Yeah.
has just a lot of time and wants to play a lot of games, I still think this is just as good of a deal as well, not just it's close to as good of a deal as Game Pass is without being quite as good of a deal.
Yeah,
but if you're that
mean,
kind of person, these services are for you.
I hope the service is improved because I think the last time I tried to use PlayStation Now was I was playing Warhammer 40K Space Marine,
Ooh.
and it was fucking awful.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that.
Like the latency was not super good. But you know, that being said, that was probably like a few years ago now. So maybe it's gotten better, but you know, hey, they've got to compete with Microsoft somehow before they own the rest of the gaming industry.
Tuh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do some quick research on this to see if there's some detail we're missing here.
That whole thing, man. They're just playing catch up.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing, PSA to all of our listeners, because I can't convince anyone else here to play Persona 5.
Shit.
But if you have PlayStation Plus and you're not smart enough to realize that you have to actually add the PlayStation Essentials collections to your library to actually own them, do it with Persona 5 because it's leaving that collection in like 2 months. So add it permanently. Hopefully play it at some point. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and then you can be one of the other maybe 2 or 3 people that can talk to Freeman about it. Because
I
you know
mean,
damn well
you know,
we're not.
It's a struggle.
I'm getting there. I'm working my way through it.
I'm working my way.
It's a struggle.
It,
You know, it's where
A
am
lot.
I at? What's the second one after the school?
oh
You're at
God.
the second dungeon? Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
what, 20 hours in max?
30? Oh no. I'm on the wait, yeah, the art gallery, that one.
Yeah, the second one.
Yes,
oh man,
that
this
is
is
the
like
second one.
Freeman working his way through the Wild Hunt.
Yeah,
This is
Oh, man, I
basically-
should pick that up again.
same thing.
Yeah,
If you
you
pick up
should.
the Wild Hunt, I'll pick up Persona 5.
Yo, please.
3
Please.
years later.
But
Alright.
Tyler also has to play Sekiro.
Actually, hold on, did
Alright, fuck it. We're all 3 of us.
I need to check
You guys
if I
will
even talked
definitely
last week
beat
about the game
both
that's
of those
holding me up.
games.
So hold up, real
before
quick.
the Sekiro.
Completely derailing the topic here. In
Wow.
regards to beating Witcher 3, are you talking about like just beat the story missions? Like what does
Finish the
beating mean for
DLC.
this game?
Yeah, you gotta finish DLC.
The
But like, if I
DLC
don't do all
Finishing
the
Blood
side
and Wine.
quests-
Aiden technically hasn't beaten the game still.
No,
Yeah.
it's you don't have to do all the side quests. That's
Nope,
that's,
but you got to
yeah,
finish the
that's
main
unreasonable.
story of all the 2 DLCs.
Gotcha. But like if I didn't beat all the side quests, it's not like it doesn't count, right?
Yeah, that's whatever. Who cares?
All right, cool.
Side
All right.
quests
I
are
can
side
beat this game. then.
Admittedly, you're missing out on very good content. The side quests are extremely good.
Oh, I know. I enjoy them more than the main story.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta.
And I will, assuming I can just find some fucking time.
What
Anyway,
is that?
speaking of people who can't find time, the E3 committee couldn't find time either. Time to hold a fucking conference.
That's
so
a good
E3 E3 is canceled this year in any form factor. No digital, no in person. But they assured everyone that they'll be back next year. Yeah,
No.
we've heard this one before.
Yeah, EA's been floundering for a while. This is probably
You mean E3?
or sorry.
I know
Well,
EA is
both.
also floundering, but you know
Yeah,
E3 is
E3,
what we're
no.
talking about. Aiden.
No, sorry, E3. Man, they're 3 and A, same, whatever. E3 has been floundering for quite a while, and I mean, like, we've been having these discussions like every few years. They've been downscaling at every opportunity. It just seems like the show has gotten smaller and smaller and receives less and less interest as, you know, we live in a much more digital age now, and we don't all need to go to a fucking conference center to like exchange information.
Yeah, I mean,
all
we've gotten to the point with
of these digital ones, the Nintendo stuff, Sony doing it. Like only Microsoft was really still doing the stage stuff and leading.
I was
going
gonna say, like, it's mostly like Nintendo has their directs, Sony has the state of play, Xbox just like announces studio acquisitions at 3 a.m. Like that's just how the
Microsoft has
industry
press
has
releases.
transformed
You know,
into.
no big deal.
Like we've gotten to the point where like no one really wants to save their big surprises to be part of the rush. Like they want to, because I think topics just move so fast. They want to have a
Yeah,
day
you
where it's
don't-
like we are the dominant talking point.
Yeah, you don't really need it because back in the day when it was like a couple websites or like magazines, and everyone needed to hit the news cycle because the journalists wouldn't travel for just nothing.
Not
And,
even
like,
that, but even like with gaming magazines, like the E3 copy of PC Gamer or Nintendo Power, whatever, was the big issue that everyone read. So
Or
you wanted to make sure
Game
your
Informer.
news was in that. Oh my god, Game Informer. Yeah, like you want to make sure your stuff was in that one volume, or that everyone was buying. Now it doesn't matter. The internet's a thing.
Yeah, and I definitely see this kind of dipping, and it's like I feel like Nintendo really kind of set the bar for this too, like with their Nintendo Directs, because those seem to
Yeah.
be have gained a lot of you know, a lot of traction.
Yeah, they have. Part of me wants to, this is the Smash fan talking. I'm curious how, if we're going to see a decrease in hype surrounding directs, if there's not that big title that everyone's expecting a new announcement for. Like, I was listening to one of our older episodes where I think it was right before the Sora reveal. They had a direct and they opened the direct by saying, "We're not talking about Smash Brothers.
And
We're not
everyone
talking about Animal
disconnected.
Crossing," and everyone disconnected. Like, unless they have
Yeah.
that anchor game that people are already pre-tuning in to hear about, I'm wondering if they're going to see, like, it's not like they're going to see no interest in canceled directs. I'm just curious if the amount of engagement is going to be down from that era.
I mean, it'll probably ebb and flow with the with the popularity of the title that they're talking about. Like
Yeah,
they'll probably put out directs, and like if they're talking about something significant, it'll get out there.
So I'm gonna make a prediction. So starting with the very first direct in 2023, they're gonna start ramping up the number of people watching because everyone's gonna be like, "Is this it? Are they gonna show off Breath of the Wild 2?" And it's gonna be like fake leaks every week before these directs, like, "This is the Breath of the Wild 2 release," and then it just won't happen. And it's gonna be I can feel the hype cycle already.
Yeah, no, it's whatever.
Speaking
Oh,
of
I
a
got-
whatever hype cycle.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting for this
Let's go.
transition.
Shit.
Just kidding. That music's not.
Damn.
What, this song? Tyler,
No, you
let's
can't
talk
play
about
that
show
because it's not in the show at all.
It makes
What do you
me
mean?
so
It is in the
sad.
show.
Oh, it is. I don't know. I just saw headlines that were
Original
like,
track. No. They had to do it. Listen, you couldn't have. We're talking about the Halo show, everybody. That's on Paramount Plus. So I'm just gonna jump right to the get. It's not good. All right, that's a good podcast. Roll credits. But seriously, so Aiden and I. Wait, Aiden, did you watch the second episode? Two episodes of
I didn't
as
even
of.
bother. I honestly
as-
didn't bother watching the second episode.
All right. As of recording this podcast on April 5th, there have been so far 2 episodes that have aired on Paramount Plus. And see, for the people, man, I don't know where to start with this. Like, I don't want to spend too much time on it because we want to get through stuff. But
It's
like,
fine. We're blitzing so far.
yeah, like, man, whatever. Like, here is my initial impression as a person who has played all the Halo games for about 20 years now, right? Everything you thought of Halo so far just isn't it. And like, granted, it's 2 episodes, and there's I don't know how many episodes are confirmed, but like, it's just not what you'd expected. And I'm watching it with Michelle, who has never played Halo. She doesn't know anything about the story, so like,
There's no
it's kind of
nostalgia factor there.
no nostalgia factor. So like, we're going in as like, 2 people, like one who is heavily invested in the plot, like who's been engaged with the games for years, and someone who's super fresh, and like we both love sci-fi, and uh we're like we're both like confused and like don't really like it that much. And I feel like that says something a lot. Granted, I realize that we're both very like hard to please, but even me, like with like it's true though. Like it really is true. Like we tried watching this other show called Another Life. Like it was another sci-fi, and we started hate watching it at that point. And but like we couldn't finish it because it was so bad. We would criticize shit like, why are they on the ship with all these chairs that aren't bolted down, right? Or like, why aren't they in spacesuits? Why aren't they doing all this stuff, to the point where like we can't watch it because it's that bad? and she started watching this show, and she's like, and this is the most damning thing. This is coming from someone who only knows Master Chief for like being Master Chief, and then there's a Halo. Doesn't know what the Halo does or what it is. I had to explain to her what a Halo
What
was.
is the Halo,
what
and
it
why are they
did.
trying to reach it?
Yeah, why are they trying to Halo reach it? Like, what's the deal, right? And so I tell her, and so without even having that much of an idea, right? After the first or second episode, she's like, "Wait a minute, I thought we were going to get a space military action show. Why are we getting a weird copy of The Mandalorian?"
Like you'd think from the trailers, right?
You'd think from the trailer that we were getting a dope ass like space military show, right? And like so far that's not what's being presented. Um I do want to highlight at least a few of the pluses, right? Like like the way they do some action scenes are actually pretty cool. Like from the first episode, there really wasn't a lot of it or ever really any in the second, but in the first one, they have like a pretty heavy combat scene that I thought it was serviceable. I would say like it was above average. I would totally watch it again. Uh, people getting blown to bits by plasma is a pretty like sick twisted fantasy of mine to watch. Like it was pretty dope. Um, but yeah, like
Fortunately, it's very short-lived,
it's very short lived and like
followed by a relentless tide of disappointment.
like the first you had me in the first half. Not gonna lie, was really the motto of the first episode. And like Tim, I want you to watch it. At least the first episode. Just to know, I don't want you to finish it. All right, and listeners, I am going to be watching the rest of this season. Aiden has dropped off probably, and that's okay. Or he'll continue watching it, and we'll just shit on it
Nah,
together.
I'll hate watch it.
Yeah, dude, hate watch it with me. Just hate watch it.
That's
Michelle
fair.
has she has more hope than I do that this show might turn around, and I'm like, it could, but I highly doubt it. And she's like, you're right. But like, I think it could have a chance. I'm like, nah,
Nah,
I think
it
she's
sucks.
trying to do it for my benefit, but I'm already like, yeah, this is probably gonna be a shit show. Like literally, figuratively, like not gonna be good.
Yeah, I think for this one, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for it to end and just see what reviewers have to say. Like,
I'll
hopefully, it's
tell
just a
you.
rocky start.
No, I'll tell you
I
right
know
now.
it won't
Like,
be, but hopefully.
it's not. It's not. It's really not gonna end.
Fingers,
Like,
fingers.
All right, cool. Thank you for saving me some time.
yeah. I'll like. All right. Yeah. Mark this right. Episode. What episode are we on?
147.
147. All right. 147. Everybody remember this. Like, this is where I say it's bad, right? And if I come back and say, never mind, this show is good, reference 147, and me saying that this show is never going to be good.
I feel like this is a rehash of me talking about like Pokemon Legends Arceus.
But see, I accepted the fact that it's going to be ass, though. And I thought about that when I was saying this because I'm like, oh, it's like Friedman, but with Pokemon. But like,
For real.
except the opposite. Like my hope is gone, where yours keeps getting reborn like a phoenix.
Look, man, I'm staying strong, but my
And
friends
dies
straight-
every time.
My friends straight up told me like if you don't buy Legends Arceus by your birthday, we're getting it for you. And I was like, please don't
No,
do this to me.
they're
do
straight
this to me.
wasting their money. Oh my god.
But like one of my friends is like, I love this game and you should play it too, and that's why he's saying it.
All right, Freeman, I gotta say this. Do your friends listen to this?
Not the one I'm talking about. No.
Listen, I want to meet them because I do genuinely think they sound like good people. If they're friends with you, they're
So,
probably good people.
The ones who
But
do listen, you actually met
listen-
at the Hero Academia movie.
Oh right, that's true. Briefly, but I gotta say, man, the more you tell me about them, the more wrong they sound. I gotta say that they sound like good people, but they're wrong.
What's the phrase I'm looking for? Opinions are like anuses.
Assholes.
There you go.
there you go. Yeah, everyone's got
Everyone's
one.
got one, but they don't.
And theirs is infected. They need
Jesus,
surgery. Jesus, no.
Yeah,
No, that's
if you're listening to this, I apologize. I do not endorse what Tyler's saying about you guys.
very true. He doesn't. He defends all of you pretty highly, actually. Very highly.
Good lord, I hope they skip this episode. I don't want to
Nah,
explain
they're
this on
definitely
Monday.
not. They're not gonna explain anything. You don't have to explain anything. Just be like, listen, Tyler's a dirtbag, and just put everything on me. It's fine.
All right.
They're listening to this explanation, aren't they? They know our plan. Listen, if you're listening to this, just skip over that last part. Don't just
One
ignore
time they
what I'm
listen to
saying.
this, what is with your friend's introduction? I'm like, what? You mean Tyler, the big titty anime expert?
Big titty anime expert, yeah. I haven't said that in a while. I think it's because I haven't watched really watched
Yeah,
anime
Tyler's
in a
been
while.
out of anime for a hot minute.
So like, can I really call myself an expert at this current moment? Absolutely.
I don't know, but I feel like you can call the rest of us experts because we know a lot about. Wait, fuck, no, not that. No, the weeb shit.
How did that manage to go wrong?
Because I just went to go hit play and I forgot the last one I queued up was the Halo song.
But we know a lot about.
amazing.
You're
Anyway,
right.
sorry.
We do know a lot about Halo.
I screwed it up. It's time for the weeb shit. There we go. Done nice and correctly.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyway.
so we're
Sorry.
talking about Attack on Titan because that's the hottest fucking thing.
So we'll talk about Attack on Titan without
planet
describing
right
the
now.
plot of it. As we discussed during the last episode, no one knew how they were going to continue Titan because we had a grand total of about 9 chapters going into this episode with no way to squeeze 9 chapters into one episode in a meaningful way. That said, 9 chapters is way too much for an hour-and-a-half movie. It's way too much for a 2.5-hour movie, and anime movies don't get movies that long. So what was going to happen? Of course, they announced the final season part 3.
Val called it.
She was correct.
She did.
But
She did.
this advertising scheme, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, like at least they confirmed it. The actual translation of the Japanese title is Attack on Titan Final Season Final Part. So like they cannot do, like, unless they decide the last 3 chapters are going to be their own movie, and it's just.
I mean, I want to shit on them, but Final Fantasy has been getting away with this for fucking ever.
Yeah, what is with this bullshit? Final Fantasy, fucking like. Or I say the only Americans who have been doing this has been Valve. Freaking Half-Life 2 Episode 2.
Ugh.
Half-Life 2, like.
So here's
Bro.
here's what I don't understand about. All right, we're gonna talk about Halo 2 for a second. The naming
Okay.
scheme of the Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2. I don't understand why they didn't just call it Half-Life 3 Episode 1, Half-Life 3 Episode 2, Half-Life 3 Episode 3, and then the next full game would just be Half-Life 4. Like, what? Why did they think Chapter 1 would come after the main game? Like, that was just straight up bad naming convention.
This is bad.
Because Valve
Alright,
doesn't
'cause-
need to release a game anymore.
Well, I
When they
think
were releasing games, they named them wrong.
yes, but so here's the other thing that I have thought of, right? And like we've had actually this kind of discussion. I mean, this doesn't have to do anything with anime. It's mostly with video games. Like a lot of games that have like episode 1, 2, or 3. Like a lot of the times it's like, oh hey, we have like all of this content that we made for this. What do we do? All right, let's just make another game out of it. Like, I feel, and
Yeah.
like that's totally what happened with like Final Fantasy 13. Like they were trying to make Lightning the next Cloud. They're like, all right, what if we take Cloud, make him a girl,
For real.
you know, because for strong female representation.
Well, hold on.
And
They were doing
then-
that. They were doing that from the onset with 13. That wasn't like a sequel thing.
Well, I know, but I meant like with, you know, but like there's 13, 13-2, and then Lightning Returns.
And 13.2 is just blatantly just let's reuse as many assets as we can because we spent way too much
Yeah.
on this game.
Exactly. Like that was just like holy fuck. Like it's stuff like that. But I did like your I don't know if you want to talk about like our side conversation on Sunday about why you think it's part 3. I thought it was actually kind of a good insight.
I'm trying to remember what was this what I had to
Base-
do with the production committee name?
No, mostly it's just like the state of kind of anime right now, and like it's budgeting,
Oh
and how
yes,
like they
so
can't like yeah.
so this will also tie into when we get to the JoJo section because we're starting to reach the era where just shows all cost a lot and they're getting more and more expensive, and these production companies aren't pumping more money into it. So like in the past, when like Studio Wit used to do 26 episode seasons of shows, they could pull it off. And then you saw when Attack on Titan season 3 happened, they straight up just couldn't pull it off on that budget, and they had to split the season when it wasn't originally intended. And then you get into this happening here, where we have the final season. They realistically can only like get Mappa to commit to 12 episodes at a time on a show because they don't have the ability to lock people down for like a 24 episode run anymore. So we're seeing how do I put this? I'm trying to remember if there was a different point I made on Sunday that I'm just forgetting that you were alluding to, Tyler. But it's just like a lot of these companies aren't capable of doing more than 12 episodes at a time anymore, and that's kind of a problem here.
Yeah, that was pretty much the gist. Like, it's like, damn, that sucks. The idea of that sucks. Like, oh damn.
Yeah,
And
like
then we're getting this like, oh, these part 3 are like these different cores, right? That's what they're calling them.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because the problem is like you can call it a season, but like they need a different word to refer to like season of the year. Like what would you refer to as a 3-month block? You'd call it a season, but like for us, a season of a show is just like any continuous run.
Right.
Like seeing Crunchyroll list like season 9 of Naruto, it seems like a joke to most of us. We're like, oh, it's all just one show. But regardless of the naming convention, it sucks. The fact that we have to wait until 2023 is like the killer part. Like, there's no story we're waiting on. The manga's been over for 2 years now. So it's
it hasn't been 2 years.
This is purely it's been 2 years. Because the manga had already ended before the final season part 1 started airing, and that was back. That was back at the end of 2020. So,
stop! I hate it.
Yes, time is flying. And hopefully it flies faster because I want to watch the fucking finale already. Moving on, more announcements. So I think we'd already had one OVA for Tonikawa.
Yeah, buddy.
And we are getting another episode before they already confirmed season 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're getting one more OVA before season 2, which I believe
season 2 is fall. This is summer.
Yeah, fall this year. So we will get a little episode to hold us over, and it is, of course, sort of a fan service.
The dress-up episode.
Yes,
it's literally. Let's look. Dress Up Darling's doing really good. We need to get one episode out the door to copy.
Crunch was like, guys, you're never gonna guess how we're gonna cross promote here. That one other show we got that did real well. We're gonna do this.
Can you imagine just like Marin walked into fucking Tonikawa for 5 seconds?
Dude, I swear to God. Actually, I'm wondering. I don't think they're under the same.
There's no way.
I'm not going to speculate on this.
I just put this on here because even you know a romance show is special when even Tyler is excited to see more of it. So
yeah,
it's important for us to keep track of when more Tonikawa content comes into the world.
Fly me to the tears.
In Tyler's defense, most romance anime is actually garbage, and I say this as someone who watches all of them.
Yeah, it's all garbage. Except for Tonikawa. And what's it called? Oh my god, why am I blanking?
What? Not
the school. They're in the school.
It could be any
no,
there's millions, Tyler.
Yeah, I know. They're in the school. Wasn't there the student council?
Oh, Kaguya-sama Love is War.
Yeah, Kaguya-sama.
Speaking of, what is it?
Yeah.
What is the latest illustration, Freeman? 3 days from now?
It's the 8th that's coming out. The 8th. So
that's perfect. So while I'm not here, at least Val will have something to do while I'm not here this weekend. She'll watch Kaguya-sama immediately.
So excited. Can't wait for it.
Also, I just opened our anime just to see if the illustration was still there, and the top post is about a show called My Happy Marriage anime getting announced. So,
dude, we've reached the era where weebs are like, we don't want harems anymore. We want wives, and like it's amazing to watch like the anime community be like, enough of this fantasy shit. Give me reality. Phenomenal. I love it.
Is it reality?
It's the reality.
It's just fantasy.
It's been the reality, the fantasy they wanted. First it was, I want some unrealistic shit. Now it's, I really want this realistic shit. Please give it to me. kind of sad. I know, whatever. Let's talk about less sad shit. Let's talk about the greatest shit post of all time is getting a season 2. Pop Team Epic. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a 4-panel comic that when they adapted into an anime, they couldn't figure out if they wanted there to be male or female voices voicing the 2 female characters. So instead, they animated a 11-minute episode, had two female voice actors, different for every episode, by the way. Voice the first half, and then at the commercial break, they literally start the episode over and bring in the male voice actors to voice the second half, which is the same bits, except these actors are now allowed to ad-lib their own jokes over it. And every week, they shuffle around who's voice acting.
Oh, man.
All while just being meta references to other shows and media. Like, there's a giant bit in the first episode where they make fun of, like, the big scene in Your Name, except with the meteor turns into a nuke and it goes off in the background, and that's like a segue to another, like, gag they do. The show is ridiculous. And it's getting a season 2. I can't wait for this shit. This is the best, worst anime. Anyway, let's talk about the worst, best anime. Made in Abyss season 2.
Let's go. Season
Let's
2
go.
coming in July.
I'm ready
summer
to
season.
So ready to cry, dude.
I want to die
Let's
inside. I'm so
go.
excited.
My soul will literally be ripped from my body.
I don't know if I
Can't wait.
want this.
You don't.
You're a
Remember,
liar. You know
we're
you
gonna
do.
watch it.
Aiden, remember
don't
when I
wanna
was
suffer
literally
anymore.
when I was bawling in the office, and Steve came over. He's like, "What kind of gay shit are you watching?" And I was like, "You don't understand." And then literally, I should have found it. I know I screen capped it, but when he was like, he watched something Naruto like about like 6 months ago, and he like caught feels. And I was like, I'm saving this because I remember when you came and made fun of me when I was crying at fucking Made in Abyss. He's like, I understand. I was like, nah,
Not even close.
not even.
I have to work on the
close.
voice. I have to. I haven't pulled out the line in too long. Val's not going to be ready for it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
God, I'm so excited for this. This is going to be so great to finally, because the movie was shockingly good, especially after a kind of slow start. I remember when we were talking about it, we were all like, "Man, the movie didn't seem incredible at first, and then it ended pretty fucking good."
Then it ended pretty strong.
Haven't seen it yet.
I like the whole
Still,
thing. Like there was an exact moment in the movie where I said "uh-oh," and then from that point on, the movie was phenomenal. And you guys know the exact scene I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, sure do.
They can't let you be happy for too long.
It was the exact scene where I said to myself, "Man, like maybe the villain isn't really the villain." And then I was like, "Oh, well, never mind."
I'm gonna pump the brakes.
Why are there sirens playing?
Did I say something wrong? Oh no.
All right, Freeman, keep
Man.
going. These are rapid fire.
All right,
So I don't know
we'll go
any of
fast now.
this.
So real quick, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. I believe it's still technically in theaters, even though it was only supposed to be there
I
for like
saw
a
it
week,
in
2 weeks.
Ridgewood on Saturday. I was like, holy shit.
Was it Ridgewood? Oh my god. Anyway, point is, it's shown, and this is not really surprising, but it beat the fourth Evangelion movie in the U.S. box office. I think the U.S. box office it made 1/4 of what it made in Japan, which it may not seem like a lot, but
But it probably
Shonen
went
Jump.
apeshit in Japan.
Shonen Jump, please pay attention here. We want your movies, please. Just keep bringing them over. Moving on, we have our first confirmation of a new Gundam TV series since Iron Blood Orphans finished airing 6-7 years ago. And this one, Gundam's Witch from Mercury, which it hasn't been confirmed whether it's Universal Century or not. It might be its own spin-off spin-off series. But for the first time ever, we are having a female Gundam protagonist. World first here. And there was some
World
promo footage
premiere.
shown off, and as someone who just got into Gunpla, I realized the real announcement was they showed off the first wave of figures from this unaired series. Getting everyone hyped up for it. Even though, full disclosure, I don't like the Gundam designs. They look a lot like Gundam Build Fighters, which were just like shittier versions of older Gundams. Spicy take. Gunpla fans, yell at me in the comments. I know I don't know if there's one of you. Moving on. More disappointment. Adult Swim announced they're producing 2 more seasons of Fooly Cooly.
what?
Why,
Yeah.
Cotton?
Yeah,
Why?
this is like, that one SpongeBob meme where it's like, how many times we gotta teach this lesson, old man? Like, this is how I feel. We got 2, all right, hot take here. I don't like Fooly Cooly original. But we got 2 even worse seasons of Fooly Cooley that fans of Fooly Cooley didn't like, and Adult Swim is like, yes, more. We need
The
2
double
more
down.
of these. I guess
Yeah,
it sold
why?
well enough, or it drew enough attention. I really don't know. Like, did all right? Who here watched original Fooly Cooley?
I did, and I thought it was just okay.
Did you watch either of the new ones?
No, I did not.
So I forced myself to watch them. And even though I don't like original Fooly Cooley, I get the charm of it. Neither of these 2 seasons had the charm of original Fooly Cooley, like, at all.
Damn.
One of them attempted to copy it and then just didn't do it well, and the other one was like, fine, we'll do our own thing, and they also didn't do that well either. So I really don't know what they're doing with this. So yeah, unlike the other 2, I'm not giving this one a fair shake. I'm not going to watch these. I have zero interest in more Fooly Cooley. Sorry, not sorry. Moving on. More Westerners getting into anime. Ruby is getting an anime by Studio Shaft. I just want to say this, Tim.
The circle is now complete.
Because Studio Shaft is working on Ruby, and David Production is like tied up with JoJo for the remainder of the year.
No, don't throw bad news at me.
If we were to get a Fire Force season 3, it like wouldn't be till end of 2023.
You know, it's all right. It's a bad show anyway.
Yeah, I know. Giguk put it in his low in his tier list video that he put out yesterday.
I mean, let's
Man,
be
I was
real here.
talking-
Soul Eater was better.
That's what he said
Damn.
exactly.
Damn. Shit. I mean, I thought I liked Soul Eater, but damn, bro.
Dude, Soul Eater was cool. Anyway,
It was
sorry.
cool.
Speaking of
Yeah.
people wielding sides, Ruby's getting an anime. I'm interested in this because like right before Ruby came out, my friend kept sending me all like the promo action sequences of all the characters before the show came out. I'm like, this is really cool. And then I saw episode 1, and Ruby fans, I know there might be one of you in the comments. Episode 1 had way too much cringy dialogue, and I just didn't want to watch it. So if they can just give me a different language option so I don't have to hear the cringe, I will gladly watch Ruby.
Cringe is fine when it's in Japanese.
Yeah, for real. But the second I have to hear it dubbed, then it sets off my my 4Kids radar and makes me turn off the TV.
I remember being so back into like Red vs. Blue and Rooster Teeth so back when Ruby came out and being like, man, I don't like this. And then immediately not watching it anymore. And I mean, it still seems to be popular. Rooster Teeth keeps pumping them out.
I mean, I still will occasionally watch like fight scene compilations because that's the one thing I like about it. So maybe if Shaft can do something about making the story engaging and keep the fight scenes, this could be good.
I'm
but I
going
don't
to say
think a date
something
was
bold.
given.
I know they were good. I never thought they were that incredible that I cared. And I think animation and action scenes have come a long way since Ruby was first coming out. Maybe it's just having more access. Like back when Ruby came out, I watched like almost no anime. Maybe I've just become desensitized, but like now it just doesn't feel as incredible.
Yeah. I think, yeah, we kind of moved on from that point. Anyway, speaking of points that we won't move off of, Sword Art Online Progressive, the second movie, is confirmed for airing in fall to coincide with the 10th anniversary of the airing of the original series.
Jesus.
I read that headline and I was like, "Oh my god, no! It has not been. It has not been 10 years since Sword Art Online came out. This is not happening.
What a world!
Time is moving too fast. This was it. I still remember when Sword Art came out. Like that was a whole nother era of weebs.
Freeman, do you still remember? Do you still remember, old man?
Oh my god,
Oh,
that's what I
man.
sound like right now. I'm like, these kids don't know what anime on VHS was
I
like.
love the young people.
Sword Art Online fans, like, how many times we got to teach you this lesson as they release another movie? Anyway, I'm excited. I liked Progressive Movie 1. It was not what I was expecting. There was a lot more original shit they added into it that I think really changes the perspective of that first arc of Sword Art. So I'm curious where they go forward with 2, because it's not like retconning. Progressive is sort of its own retelling that doesn't impact the main storyline. So interesting stuff. We'll get more promos and trailers and shit. I'll probably won't talk about it till it releases, and then be like, guys, look, it made a fraction of what Mugen Train made, or some shit. But moving on, just want to get out of the weeb shit. So Crunchyroll announced that starting this season, they are no longer offering free watching on simulcasts. Previously, if you didn't have a Crunchyroll account, you could watch any episode of their simulcast except for the newest one for the first week it came out, as long as you were watching with ads. And when I say with ads, I don't mean like a commercial break. I mean like every 3 minutes there's an ad. So it was not really a great way to watch Crunchyroll. But in theory, if you had no money, like let's say you're 10 years old, you really, really want to watch Boruto. You could 100% just sit through commercials, watch Boruto and Crunchyroll, and your parents would be none the wiser. Going forward, because I think of a lot of the licensing agreements that they have with Funimation, they just can't do that anymore. So for at least the simulcast, you do need to be a subscriber. I don't know what their stance is for shows not in the current simulcast season. But of course, a lot of outrage, mostly from people who don't use Crunchyroll and are already advocating for piracy anyway. So whatever, that discussion is what it is. But kind of more of this fallout from the Funimation merger is that Crunchyroll used to have a lot of titles from Sentai Filmworks, this smaller US licensor who still did a lot of DVD stuff. They announced that this week a lot of their items are leaving the Crunchyroll catalog. Some of the big ones like No Game, No Life, Is It Wrong to Pick Girls in a Dungeon. The first 2 seasons of Food Wars, for some reason, the later ones are not being renewed. I don't know what's going on there, but point is, those are all going away. I double checked; they're all available on High Dive, which is like their service, which used to be also on Verve, which isn't anymore. Which I just learned and had to cancel my Verve subscription because I only used it for High Dive. Anyway, if you want to find your anime, it's really not that hard. And the last one, I think, Tim, you put
this
the
I just
second
threw
bullet
on
point
there. So because I was just on our anime, and Crunchyroll has finished announcing their spring lineup.
Oh, they did?
The only 2 things I was going to throw out there was on because they have their own top titles thing. The Ancient Magus' Bride OAD, isn't that like an OVA?
Yeah, it came out a while ago. I guess it's finally coming to Crunchyroll.
Well, Ancient Magus' Bride OAD 2 is coming to Crunchyroll this season.
Got it. This is.
And then something
so
called The Girl from the Other Side. The reason that's in their top titles, it's from Wit. So some new show from Wit Studio is coming this season, and those are the 2 that Crunchyroll has added to their top titles since the last time we looked at this.
It's ironic you brought them up back to back because it has the same aesthetic of the Ancient Magus Bride.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up because we talked about the Crunchyroll seasonal lineup. There's literally nothing else new,
Nothing we didn't
or
already know about.
continuing, or like a sequel to anything we care about. So.
Yep. All right. So
let's
also,
close
it out with
actually, one other
okay.
Crunchyroll thing. Sorry. Crunchyroll also, so Funimation had their own YouTube channel, and Crunchyroll also obviously has their own channel where sometimes they post like all these trailers. They have the episode 1s of a lot of shows. Apparently, the Funimation YouTube channel is being renamed to Crunchyroll Dubs, where they're going to start every week uploading one first episode of a dubbed show. And the first one they're doing this coming Saturday is ReZero episode 1 dubbed is coming to YouTube for free.
Interesting.
So
for anyone who doesn't know, the Funimation channel, I think they still have it. They used to just have like full dubbed seasons of shows. Like for the longest time, you can watch Initial D seasons 1, 2, and 4 just on YouTube for free on Funimation's channel if you're in the US. So I'm wondering if they're keeping all those on.
I don't know, but they might. It's
still
going to say Crunchyroll Dubs, so they might leave them if they still have the rights. But
yeah, but they definitely do this as a whole promotional thing, especially with just the only episode 1 being published. But still, it's better than nothing.
Funny enough, so I just went to the channel. When you click on the channel, it shows the Crunchyroll logo with like a blue background instead of the orange. But when you hover over it, like in the YouTube search bar, it's such a fresh change that it still looks like the
like some of the things are still
the
cast.
Funimation logo, not the Crunchyroll logo.
Oh. But
yeah, there's dubs of clips and stuff like that already on here, and they still all have the old Funimation logo, which is really funny. But yeah, there's still it looks like everything is still here. So I would assume that anything they used to have before is still going to be on here.
Nice. That's my plug to go on. Listeners, go watch Initial D on. Maybe don't watch it dubbed. Go watch Initial D on YouTube. It's all there. Just watch Initial D.
Deja vu.
Watch Initial D.
They have clips. I'm not seeing a full season.
I'm not trying to waste time here, but Initial D dub.
Oh my god!
I just searched it on the channel and it's not showing up.
What the hell? The full Initial D remake movie is on YouTube. How is this shit here?
Damn.
All right. Anyway,
Anyway, last point. This one's pissing off a lot of weebs. So up until now, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, whenever it comes out, it has been continuous runs. First two parts, 26 episodes. JoJo Part 3, it was 2 26 episode runs. From that point on, it's always been continuous 39s. JoJo Stone Ocean comes out. It is a Netflix release. They do a batch release of 12 episodes, and it was like, all right, well, I guess the next 12 are going to come in 12 weeks because that's how anime works. Week 13 rolls around. There's no news. TV stations announce there's no time slots allocated to JoJo next season. What's going on? David Productions still says JoJo's in production. Netflix comes out like, we are proud to announce to all of our fans anxiously awaiting the next part of JoJo that it's coming out in fall. And I was like, whoa, back up. You're taking 2 seasons off? They're like, well, yes, we want to ensure that we can properly release this batch worldwide. So we, Netflix, are delaying the release of the already finished show until fall worldwide. And they're just like shocked at why people aren't happy about this.
It's just so weird.
Like, I forget who I spoke to at large I forget who I spoke to at large about this with. I don't know why that sentence was so hard for me to say. But when we were waiting week to week for JoJo episodes, people had time to sit there and dissect individual episodes and make memes out of the episode.
I was talking to you.
Yeah, we were talking about this on Sunday. I have not seen I've seen one Stone Ocean meme format, because when you binge it, there's not time to take any of it in. Yeah, we were definitely having this conversation on Sunday.
Yeah, because we were like, we like the week to week format, not the binging.
I don't binge 12 in a row. Like I finished 2 episodes. I want to go online and see what people said about episode 2, and like there is no discussion because everyone's just rushing to the end. And Netflix seems to think this is good, but like we came to the agreement on this. Like almost all these big Netflix trends are like flash in the pan. It's really popular for a second, and then everyone just forgets about it because they don't have any longevity. No one's thinking about it for more than like a minute at a time. But Netflix says this is good.
They're wrong.
They're wrong. This is the work of an enemy stand. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's it for the weeb shit.
And now we can go on to the watched and played, and I'm going to ask that you guys talk about stuff that I didn't watch for a second because I got to run for 2 minutes, so I'll be right back. But I want to talk about a lot of this stuff, so
I'll drag something only I talked about to the top of the docket then. So I started watching the show on Hulu called Devs. So one of my friends had recommended it to me because I am a software developer. And I was like, all right, fine, let's watch episode 1. And in terms of the main cast, like what's her name? Alison Pill's in it, Nick Offerman's in it. And I don't remember the name of the woman who plays the lead character because she's hot take, she's not that great of an actress. But watching episode 1 of Devs, it was pretty interesting. They're very clearly like parodying like the Silicon Valley, Google, Apple, mysterious company. But the big thing about the show is like you don't need to be a developer. They'll throw a lot of like terminology at you, like encryption algorithms and what are Fibonacci sequence numbers. And if you don't know what they are, you don't know what they are. If you know, it really doesn't make or break for the plot. But at the end of the day, it's a mystery show. And I think the mystery is very interesting, especially after episode 1. I watched I forget if it was 2 or 3 more episodes on Friday. All it told me after watching 2 more episodes is the mystery's still really solid. The characters aren't quite there. Yeah, they're not like amazing. I'm gonna keep watching the show. Like, I'm gonna watch the entirety of season 1. I don't know if season 2 was announced for it, but either way, I'm giving it a fair shake. I'll see how it pans out by the end of the season and report back when I'm done with it, though.
All right, sounds good. Like the show sounds not interesting to me, but
it's
at least when you were describing it to me on Sunday.
It's how do I put, like if you're a fan of mystery shows, like that's the best thing I could say. Like, there's no other like defining feature that I can really put on this show. Like if you don't give a shit about software development, like this show doesn't care. It's really not about that. It's all just about what is this mystery? How is it being covered up? What are they developing? It's like, how do I put it? Like, can you appreciate the Matrix if you don't understand how code works? Yes, same kind of idea with this.
Okay. Oh, was there? Was this? What did you want to talk about? Just go through yours then. Since...
I mean, that was the only thing I put on here that I was the only one who saw. The rest were all of us.
Okay.
Unless, Tyler, you want to talk about your stuff real quick while we stall for time?
Yeah, I'll do that. So, Michelle and I, we are reading the fourth book in the Stormlight Archive, called Rhythm of War. Um, fucking tome of 1,200 pages. It took us like 2 months to read.
Holy shit.
I mean, we could have probably read more, but like we were trying to pace ourselves and discuss it like once a week. We'll actually be talking about the ending, the last 200 pages tomorrow. But finally done. Highly recommend this. I know for our like devoted listeners, you guys have heard me talk about this before in the past and how I when I read the first three books and I finally read or well mostly listened. I listened to the first three. I actually read this one. It was good. Still highly recommend it. Um and I also watched two movies last week. One of them was a rewatch, and it kind of just went from like a snowballing effect from when I found out that Kavinsky put out a new album, which I wasn't a fan of before. I listened to it and I was like, oh, this one's actually pretty good. So, and
I ended up listening to it when I was driving to and from Fairlawn yesterday.
oh yeah,
And
what'd you think of the whole thing?
overall I like the album. A couple of the tracks I was like really hit or miss for me. Like there's a couple I really love and there's a couple that I just like really wasn't feeling at all. But
Yeah.
overall it has a pretty like consistent sound to it. Overall, like as a whole album, pretty good.
If you guys are interested in hearing this album, it's called Reborn by Kavinsky, and I bring this up because he had a song that was in that literally was in the opening credits for Drive with Ryan Gosling. And I was like, maybe it's time for me to rewatch Drive because everybody that I know who's seen it likes that movie a lot. They're surprised I don't like it. So I'm like, I'll give it another try. And I'm like, I honestly can't remember shit from this movie. I watched it like maybe 5, 6 years ago. I think it was like yeah, about 6, 7 years ago I watched it. So I figured, hey, I'll give it another shot, right? And I remember now why I didn't like the movie. Um, but yeah, like the sound, it's funny because like I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack does not fit the movie. It sounded like somebody who just really liked synthwave music stuck it to like a movie because like, yo, I like synthwave, I'm
So,
putting it in
some
here.
guy who used to make AMVs really likes synthwave music, is what you're telling me here.
Exactly. And like it's so weird because the so Hotline Miami actually pulled a lot of inspiration from Drive. And it's so weird because I just don't see it. I really don't see it. Like maybe some of like the aesthetic that they try to pull, but like I don't know. You kind of missed me with this one, but whatever. I wasn't a fan. I think I actually rated it because I've been like trying to rate things on my letterboxd. Like anything after a certain date, because like I pretty much like when we went through it, I just like, okay, I watch all these. All right. Anything new that I watch, I'm going to rate. So, but since I watched it again, I figured I'd rate it. I think I gave it like a 3 because like it was overall like a decent movie. Um, and I also watched this movie called The Meet the Neon Demon. It's your typical like um oh my God, what the hell is it called? It's like, oh, like the price of show business. Like, if anybody has seen like Last Night in Soho or like, was it? I didn't see this movie, but like Showgirls or anything like that, where it's like, oh, hey, X person wants to be in show business, and they have to sell their soul essentially and like basically erase what like makes them a quote decent human being, right? Um, and it's actually kind of funny right now that I mention this and I'm thinking about it and I talked about Drive with somebody and I remember saying that Edgar Wright who wrote, who did like Scott Pilgrim, he also did Baby Driver. And I remember saying, and this is how I still feel. I feel like Baby Driver is what Drive wanted to be originally. And Baby Driver just did it
Did it
better.
better
And
with a
this
more diverse soundtrack.
with a more diverse soundtrack. right? Like it hit all the beats that it was supposed to. Like it wasn't supposed to be like as ham-fist like Drive. It's supposed to be like a very serious tonal movie throughout, but like it just I don't know. It wasn't thematically all the same as where Baby Driver kind of hit those beats. And I think it's funny too that I also picked up Neon Demon, where it's also supposed to be a very like, serious movie all the way through. And Edgar Wright came out with Last Night in Soho, which is somewhat similar, and it kind of takes like a supernatural turn like towards the end, but like I thought it was like much better at telling the same kind of story than Neon Demon. But I'll admit, I'm slightly biased towards Edgar Wright. I just think he just does really good stuff.
Usually does. Also, I'm back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
If you guys didn't
there you
hear me
go.
before,
No, I heard some shuffling, and
That's
I
what I
figured
figured.
I would just finish up.
that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. Did you catch any of that by chance?
I heard some of the end of about Drive and Baby Driver. Yeah.
I was like, did you see me update my letterbox, Tim?
No, but I also have only been noticing when my sister posts. You know what it is? It's because when I open the app, it shows popular this week and new from friends. But since you don't rate stuff,
Oh no, I've rated stuff. I rated Batman, I rated Drive,
Huh.
and I rated the Neon Demon.
why is it not? I don't know why it doesn't show up as what you're doing then.
I don't know,
But
bud.
oh, there I go. If I go to
Yeah.
activity, I see what the last thing I see is Drive and Stalker.
Oh wait, shit. Did I? Oh yeah, because I added this movie Stalker to my watch list.
Holy shit! My sister added like 1,000 fucking movies in one day.
Oh yeah, to her watch list. I'm
Oh
like,
my
wow, I saw
God.
90% of these.
Damn, I guess I need to sign up now, don't I?
If you want. Like,
I mean, you don't have to, Freeman, but it's only the My Anime list of film. Like, really, we're all trying to be on the
Why
same
would you
page
say
here.
those words in that order?
yeah, right. Wait, now I'm checking. Did I say that I watched this?
Drive?
Yeah, I definitely. No, not Drive. Neon Demon.
Oh, no,
yeah,
you
I
didn't.
even rated this
Neon
a
Demon
3.
Evangelion.
When did you? Hold on.
I
it
watched
must
it
be...
last week.
It's probably buried amongst. No, I see 2 weeks ago. All I see under your activity is Stalker and Drive. Maybe I need to.
Weird. Yeah, whatever. Not like it matters.
Yeah, I have my sister watching Goodfellas and Mamma Mia. Jesus,
Hell yeah.
Whoa. What
That's
a
random as fuck.
what a
Goodfellas.
dichotomy.
Maybe if I go to your account on here.
Peak movie.
Probably.
Weird. Anyway,
Anyway.
Damn,
she rated it 5. She gave Mamma Mia 5 stars and a like. Holy shit.
to be fair, she watched that
Just let
film
it
with
go,
my
Tyler.
mom at a formative age, so.
5
Just let
star
it-
Mamma
Tyler,
And
Mia.
they
just let
gave
it go.
Goodfellas a 4-star.
All right, that's
Whatever.
disrespectful. We're going.
That's
to
what
war.
I'm saying. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I gotta clip this and send it to Kay after this.
All right, I will allow only one complaint about Goodfellas. It's a little bit too long.
oh yeah. I mean, like, what Martin Scorsese movie isn't, honestly?
Yeah, I
Still
know.
haven't watched The
What
Irishman.
was the most recent one that he did?
Irishman.
I literally
That
said the
one?
name as
Yeah,
you
he
were
did
asking the
say it.
question.
He did literally say it.
Yeah.
Tim, there's no way I watched this many more films than you. It says
You
you only
wa-
have 423.
Yeah, dude, I haven't. I mean, there's a lot I haven't added, but you've watched a lot of movies that I haven't
God
watched.
damn.
I bet if I went through your list, I would find a lot that like I would be like, oh, I watched this. Oh, I watched this. But ever since that first night, remember months ago when I first signed up and I just added a shit ton, I just haven't
Yeah.
done it again since.
You got him, man.
I know.
You got it.
So now that I can blow through a bunch of anime that like I watched with other people, I guess. So
Yeah,
Freeman,
most of these at least 2 of us have seen.
Freeman, I have an
Except for the
important
first one.
question.
Yeah.
Since I'm starting from the bottom, now we're here.
Oh shit.
Did you watch AT Shikso?
Yes, I watched the finale like 20 minutes before I
thank
got on.
fucking God, that's amazing.
That
So was it amazing? So for those at home, I talked about this weeks ago, a few weeks, last podcast probably. And now Tyler and Freeman have finally caught up.
Yeah.
And there was a
Yep.
very special moment on Saturday. I don't know how Freeman liked it, but there was a very special moment on Saturday when Sunday, when Aiden and I were hanging out on Discord with Tyler, and Tyler got real quiet for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was a time, man. Like, you know.
That was just really funny how like me and Andrew just playing Elden Ring, just messing around, and then you come back, you're like, man, who's cutting onions in here, guys?
Just cut nuns. It was funny too, because like I was like having a full ass conversation with like Tim and Aiden about like what's going on. Like I'm watching, I'm still ingesting like what's happening. And then there was like I forget what scene it was. It was like I think it was when they were in the field
Mm-hmm.
right after, and like Handler is there, and I'm like, and I just get hella
This has my
quiet.
undivided attention.
Literally, I was like, oh shit.
So Freeman, what did you think of the end of '86?
Like the actual ending was great, but as a whole package, I didn't like season 2 that much.
Wow.
I think so. I complain a lot about this in anime. So if a show doesn't have a plot and episode 11 rolls around and they want to have a plot, what they do is they take a main character, they pull them away from the group, and they make the plot. How do we bring this character back to the group? And then episode 12 has this like big resolution feeling because we've reunited everyone. And that's how I largely feel about season 2. Season 1 ended on a very strong note of the separation of the 86 with Handler 1 and just the rest of the Republic. And then the show employed a very big tell don't show approach to everything involving the Handler and everything about the Republic, to the point that when we see her again, it didn't feel rewarding enough to finally see her again. I felt like I didn't know anything about her struggle, anything about her story. So when we get this reunion, it's great that the 86 see her again, but the point of the end of season 1 was that they were kind of saying goodbye. So I get that while I personally wanted them to be reunited, in terms of the plot structure, it ended up playing out like the same episode 11 structure that I hate in other anime, where it was, we're going to separate them because the reunion feels good. And I didn't really like that about it. But this is just a me thing. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. I just, it bothered me for a bit. And ultimately, I feel like this season didn't need to be 12 episodes. Like, there was a good chunk of time where it's just the 86 are back on the battlefield, where I didn't feel like there was any value added to the show. We already knew what they were capable of in combat. We already knew about their whole, Shin's suicidal. He thinks everyone around him is going to die. We already have been through that plot line, and they were going to do it again one more time at the end for the final fight. So at the end of it all, I think it could have been shortened a bit, but it wasn't bad. Like, animation stellar. The songs by Hiroyuki Sawano, great. Shot composition, everything involving the dog. Was that his name?
Oh,
Everything involving him and all
Fido.
the camera work and Fido. There you go. All great. I just wasn't 100% on board with the plot structure for season 2. That said, I think all mecha fans should give this one a fair shake. This is by far one of the better mechas in the last couple of years. But I wasn't feeling it to the same degree you guys were. But I don't want that to make you guys think I hated this.
No,
All right.
I mean, okay, here's a question then. What score did you give it?
So I had to objectively rate it lower than season 1 because I just didn't think it was as good. And I gave season 1 an 8, so I was on the fence between a 7 or an 8 for this, and I landed on a 7 for now, but I'm gonna let it simmer for a bit and reassess my score later.
See, it's so funny you say that because I did season 1 as an 8 and I came in at season 2 as a 9. For whatever reason,
Yeah.
it's just the emotional payoff worked a lot more for me, and I didn't feel that. I totally get what you're saying, and I think with a slightly different viewpoint, I would be exactly where you're at, and I don't think what you're saying is unreasonable at all.
Yeah.
I just
Again,
think
it just boils down to a difference in
did
opinion.
work for me. So for me, it just hit harder.
Yeah, like I don't want anyone to think I'm saying this is objectively bad. This is an objectively good show. Like I watch a shit ton of anime. If I give something a 7, it's like it used to be a 7's or whatever. Now, like you get a 7, you have to be a good show for me.
That's fair.
Like 5 has become my baseline. I give out way more 5s these days than I ever thought I would. But yeah, overall good watch.
Speaking of a good watch, Dress Up.
Oh,
we talked about
boy.
it.
Let's waifu of the season. So,
That's not hard.
yeah, it really wasn't hard this season with no other waifus in contention. But I don't remember where we were during the last episode, or sorry, during the last episode of the podcast. I don't know where we were in the show, but all that's on my mind after watching this is just like the last scene.
Yeah.
Because, oh my goodness, they cannot make this couple any more adorable than they already have.
It's similar to the Tonikawa thing. This is like a looter Tonikawa almost by design, obviously.
Yeah.
But there is some sugary moments in the show for sure. Unfortunately, if you're like Val, the lewd does overshadow that too much.
The lewd.
But overall, if you can deal with that, and honestly, it's not like it's just super aggressive compared to some shows. But
Yeah,
overall,
I would argue like the lewdest moment, like at the Love Hotel, is by far like unironically one of the best scenes in the whole show.
it's
like,
a really
the,
honestly,
just the
it's
tension between
yeah.
these characters.
Like usually those moments are just for the audience, but that was like aggressively in the moment. Like you could
Character
feel the
development.
tension between the characters, and that's a different take than it usually is. But still, I can understand people who are like, "Whoa."
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it still was kind of a fan servicey scene to begin with. So,
yeah. But
accept it for
overall,
what it
Dress
is.
Up Darling was pretty solid. I feel like I should just leave my anime list open so I can give scores for all these shows or tell my scores for all these shows that finished. I gave it an 8. Almost everything this season was an 8.
You know
Wow.
what? I should give it. I gave it a 9, and I realized I was riding way too high on emotions after the finale. Objectively, see, the thing is, I want to say objectively, like the animation for the show was really good. Anytime they had full body shots, they were doing like what's the term I'm looking for? Like motion tracking.
Yeah.
Like anytime they're like if you watch the beach episode, which isn't really a beach episode because they're just standing on the beach for like a minute. Every single one of Marion's movements was just so well
animated
for no fucking reason.
Look at how much animation there is.
They put so much effort into a show that didn't demand it, and I want to award them the 9 for it, but I'm actually
I don't know. I would still
Judging
put
from
Tonikawa higher, and I feel like this isn't. I feel like this still has the fan servicey bits, and for me that makes it an 8. But 8 is still incredible score for me. I
I'm
mean,
gonna drop to 8. I don't
for
want to
context, 8 is what I gave Ranking of Kings, and Val can't stop talking about Ranking of Kings as one of her new favorites. So
Oh yeah, I'm starting that with her on Thursday, I think.
hell yeah. So Dress Up Darling was quite good. Not top romance ever for me, but still really good. I do want to talk about, because Val and I finished Komi-san, which was
boy.
the big hype show of last season, and we're getting season 2, what, in fall?
Next week.
Oh, it's starting this season?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, it's because it wasn't on Crunchyroll, so I didn't see it on the list. That's
Yep.
funny. I gave Komi-san a 7, and I almost want to take it down to a 6. I liked... What?
I'm gonna say I don't blame you, because as someone who reads the manga, like it's not like it's trying so close to be a 1-to-1 manga adaptation that it's not taking advantage of being an anime, and because of that, it's not that great as an anime.
I mean, they do the shots really well when they do the pretty shots of Komi, or when her cat ears come out and things like that. Like, it's really well done, and it takes advantage of it. But like, it's one of those things where it's just like anime trying to be realistic and then just taking things too far.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that there aren't people who have this kind of anxiety about speaking to others that is aggressive, but like when she literally like can't say a word in public and the entire class literally starts calling her Kami instead of Komi, it's like, Jesus, this is a little much.
Joke?
How many times are we going to make the joke that she is the god of our class? Like, and don't get me wrong, there's some really good moments here. There's a reason I gave it a 7. Like, her and Tadano are cute. Like, anime is clearly getting better at handling relationships that aren't just aggressively over the top stupid, and actually have some. What the fuck is?
What the fuck, Richard?
Are you guys hearing anything on the mic?
Negative.
No, but someone driving a motorcycle went right by my building, so I heard it right.
I didn't hear that, but Val.
Oh, I hear that one too.
Is walking around above.
Oh, that's right, because you're right there.
Yeah, but Aiden.
Yeah, I'm living with down at the bottom of the hill with the peasants though. You know.
The sound carried. It's It's like Val can tell. Val knows I'm recording, and she's just walking around right over my head. But it was still good, but the joke just like, I don't know. There were good wholesome moments, and there were funny laughs for sure, but it just didn't hold up as much as some of the. Now that there's more romance shows that are like actually wholesome and good, this just didn't do enough with its just the how aggressive. The highs weren't as high as like Dress Up or Tonikawa, but it was still good. And Val and I will definitely watch season 2.
Yeah, that's the one I have to catch up on next. I was telling Tyler before the show, I'm now down to only watching 6 shows at the moment, which is the lowest I've been in like years.
I think I told you guys, now that Attack on Titan's done, I have 0 active shows on my anime list that I'm tracking.
You just gotta wait a week. I think we have Shield Hero on Thursday.
Shield Hero is tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
According
Shit.
to YouTube.
Might have to watch.
Is that even going to be good, though?
No, but there's nothing else to watch right now, so I got it.
Yeah. No, there's
We
nothing
don't
else to
give a
watch. Spy.
fuck.
So you guys have Kaguya. I might need to start watching Kaguya-sama to catch up, because you guys keep saying it's funny, and I should give it a try.
Oh, it gets better. Like the first 3 episodes are arguably the worst part of the show.
But then over the weekend, obviously I'm gone, but when I'm back, Spy X Family, time to start that.
Yes.
So that'll be pretty exciting. But anyway, to move on to just to finish up. So speaking of Shield Hero, what about Shield Girl, aka
Shield Heroine?
Max my Beaufry. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Man, Silverlink just can't miss to some extent with these comedies. The show wasn't like stellar, but it was good. I gave it like I said, literally everything. Wait, did I not talk about ranking? Oh no, I talked about Ranking of Kings last time. This is among the many 7s I awarded this season, but Beaufry was fun. Like Maple being stupid OP in an MMO where everyone's like, how did she get so OP? Is like, again, talk about played out jokes. That's the only thing that gets to me, Freeman, is how played out the joke is that Maple is just weirdly strong, but then she still sucks at playing the game.
I feel like the alternative title is like the strongest MMO player is actually the worst player, or some nonsense like that. That's an alternative description for what this was.
Min-maxing can make any player look good.
How does the game's best tank have the highest DPS?
How Vitality is Dark Souls' best stat.
I still miss the early days when we didn't have a real translation for the title, and people used to use the fan translation of "I hate getting hurt, so I'm gonna do a full defense build," and that was the title. And it was the most confusing thing to read because you're just like, what genre is this supposed to be?
Overall, it's a fun time. Shield Hero at its peak was way better than this. I mean, this is a Silverlink comedy / slice of life ish / just whatever fun show to relax to, and it was fine. It was decent.
The best way I describe the show to people is take Sword Art Online, except remove the whole they get stuck in the game plotline, and that's it. That's
even though by the end it's basically they're stuck in a game because they never go out into the real world, and it's just like, oh, we're playing 5 days in the game world. I guess we're doing that.
That's highly realistic for any big MMO launch.
Yeah, but they still go to school and shit. Remember at the end they're like, you gotta study.
You're right.
for
Technically they're like,
exams.
oh, we spent 5 days in the game. Uh-oh, we have finals tomorrow.
But yeah, it was fine. A show that again got a 7, but is also not fine, but is good. Tyler, I don't think you and Val finished Vanitas yet, but Freeman, did you finish Vanitas?
No, I have 2 episodes left. I just got to the Vanitas backstory arc, and it's getting spicy.
Yep, it's pretty good, and we're coming off the Beast arc, which Val said is the best that she's read in the manga. Although now we're ahead of her because that arc ended in the manga. So, Vanitas is pretty good. Vanitas is pretty good vampires. Shittiest opening and ending of the season by a mile. So boring I fall asleep. But I keep talking about it.
I miss ending 1 so much.
I miss ending
Honestly,
1.
I think it's all right. I don't think it's anything amazing.
It's Tyler. It's
It's all right,
aggressively all right. In a season where we have shit like Rumbling, it's like this is aggressively whatever.
It really is. I think that's what I'm trying to compare it to almost. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
But yeah,
I'm trying to think like what would I give opening of the season, because I haven't been thinking that hard about
I mean,
this.
probably Rumbling.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, like, well, besides
maybe
that, 86 had a pretty good opening. All right, let's.
So
not try this
86
out.
is damaged for me by the split because I wasn't in the mood for it. But I will say there is a playlist on Spotify of all 4 Ranking of Kings opening and closings, like total, because there's 2 of each. I have been playing that playlist sometimes when I drive to and from work because all 4 of those shows are pretty freaking solid. And I would say the opening 2 is the best one in
I was going to say, never mind. I forgot Demon Slayer technically aired this season, even though it ended like 6 weeks
fuck,
ago. So
Val,
yeah, that had a
every
banger
time that
opening.
comes on my car, Val's like, you cannot skip this. You have to play it. Da 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 da.
All right, we got last one on here, Tim.
Go.
How was Realist Hero?
Oh man. I gave this season a 7, and I realized that that's a fucking mistake. I need to not. That score is too high with everything else I gave a 7. This needs to go down to a fucking 6.
That's how I feel every time I give a show an 8. I'm like, this is decent. This is decent. Then I look at
Ranking,
the other 8s, like, damn, this show's not an 8.
Fucking Realist Hero is fine. If you want, like, it is still just more civilization. There's not even a war where they have to pretend like they're going to do animation this season, so at least they can focus on character building. And this is definitely power fantasy because, oh, look, he accidentally has a harem and everyone's happy about it and they love being in his harem. Realist Hero's fine. Again, honestly, finishing this, you know what I might pick up? I might pick up the prince getting his kingdom out of debt show.
Oh, the show with a similar concept but different execution.
Well, but it's like this plus Overlord equals that show. So I kind of want to watch it. But overall, it was fine. Honestly, it's fun to have like a city builder show. There's a good mystery that's finally resolved at the end of the season, so that's good at least. But it started getting. It's funny because the first season has like this war where shit's like really serious, even though the animation's terrible. Like there's this whole uprising and all this stuff. There's all these problems and everything, and then season 2 is like. The opening makes it look like we're going to have a really serious season because it shows Soma like smashing his desk and throwing papers around because it's hard to run the kingdom. And then everything just is so easy and falls into place like it's fucking nothing. Like there's so little drama and everything works out so perfectly for him. It's actually hilariously ridiculous how easily everything just works. So it's fine. Again, if you want to watch it, I mean, looking at my anime list, this show peaks at 7 out of 10s, and has so few. Only 40,000 people have finished this. When you compare it to Attack on Titan, which has had 145,000 people complete this and are currently being watched by 373,000 people.
Oh wow!
So. Yeah, it's a big spread of numbers. Wow, Vanitas isn't even that much. Anyway, Realist Hero's fine. I've already dedicated too many words to this fine show. I'll watch more of it if it comes out, funny enough, because it's a fun Sunday morning, relaxing 6 out of 10 show to watch when I'm eating breakfast, but whatever. But speaking of Attack on Titan, the rumbling's coming. We can finally talk about the rumbling.
Aiden doesn't know what the fuck we're talking
we can't
about.
Talk about the rumbling.
Nah, it doesn't even matter. The season was so I gave it a 9 out of 10, which is my highest score possible.
So,
what did you give it, Freeman?
I think I'm trying to remember because I was conflicted about whether to give it higher or lower than the last half. Because the one thing I want to point out about this season is there was better animation in part 2 than there was in part 1. Part 1, honestly, I'm still mad about the CG, and I'm even more angry about the 3D maneuver gear scenes. But they brought them back for part 2, and I was very happy with that. I ended up settling on a 9 for both parts of final season so far. Honestly, I feel like they all delivered. There was no point where I was like, damn, this was bad. There are parts where I'm like, damn, this is different from previous seasons. And for context, I gave seasons 1, 2, and both of 3. I gave them both 10s. Final season, both were 9s for me. Slight step downs, but not that they are bad at all. This is still some of the best anime we've had in a while.
But
but I still like season 2 and 3 a little bit better.
I think it's partially because those had a lot more going on. And,
Yeah.
it's funny. I've been thinking recently about how, everyone's like, oh, he rewrote the ending because of the original ending getting leaked by that other party.
Yeah, like way earlier on.
Even if it's not intentional, the way that final season part 1 and part 2 started and progressed, even though the steps were already there, the fact that it was such a clean cut when final season started, it's hard not to feel like we are in the timeline and have been since final season part 1 of the
alternate storyline
that he had to come up with to recover. And it's still incredible, like you said, but it's hard not to feel that way.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But then I think about
What?
the fucking last fight at the end of this, in the second to last episode, and holy shit, all that animation was so good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Freeman, you weren't there when you had, I think you had left 2 weeks ago, but when we showed Leslie those episodes of Attack on Titan.
Oh, like where
After
Mikasa
we
had
had,
her big scenes.
yeah, where we had already watched it, and then we showed it to her, and she was like freaking out. And
Oh,
she
no!
watches
I was
so
there
many
for that.
Oh,
I was
you
there
were.
during the Mikasa scenes, and she was losing it.
Like, man, even Flock, piece of shit Flock, getting his cool anime scene.
I'm still so butthurt he survived between several episodes. It's just livid.
Can't wait for the final season, part 3. The ending was Tyler. I would stay online and watch the ending with you because you. So Freeman, just for context, I had messaged Tyler because after everybody left on Sunday and Val and I immediately finished Attack on Titan. Because you had stayed and we had finished Beaufort, Tyler would have had time to get home and watch the show, and he marked on my anime list that he had completed, and I was like, oh shit, Tyler, what'd you think? And he's like, oh, I didn't mean to mark it completed. I didn't watch the last 10 minutes yet. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Well, I watched it complete because we started it, and I was already in my anime list. I was like, I might as well mark it.
But I'm saying, like, I was so pissed. And then for you to get on the podcast and be like, yeah, I still didn't fucking watch those last 10 minutes. Like, there is some wild shit in those last 10 minutes that happened, like, right after we paused it for Freeman walking in. So also a funny story for everybody before we end the podcast. This will be really quick. On Sunday, when Leslie and Tyler arrived for our normal D&D day, Freeman has his other group of friends that he hangs out with on Monday that he had promised to watch Attack on Titan with. And we're like, oh shit, we got to watch Attack on Titan before Freeman gets here. We had delayed a bit because Leslie was like, I don't feel like watching Crunchyroll hadn't put Attack on Titan out physically at the time we tried to find something to watch. So we killed a little time, and then 5 o'clock rolls around, and I'm on Crunchyroll about to play the next episode of Villainous, which we're working on Tyler and Leslie for. And I see that Attack on Titan's finally out, and I immediately just press play. 10 minutes later, in the middle of a scene, Freeman walks in the front door of the house, and Leslie and Val start screaming, no, 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 no.
No.
I was just like, damn, you guys really don't want me here. All right.
Yeah, we didn't. We wanted to finish the fucking
We wanted
show.
to finish Attack on Titan.
God damn.
No, but it was absolutely hilarious, and it was a fun time. And it's, yeah, like Freeman said, even at its quote lowest point right now, this is still some of the best storytelling in animation. And like I said, this feels like it probably is like kind of the alternate timeline stuff or alternate ending stuff that he had to come up with, but it's still
Like,
incredibly
none of it feels
well
bad.
done.
Like we're reaching the point where there's like we're running out of revelations to handle here, but it's
the way everything has
still
come
good.
together so much. And like, even as we complain about, like, Eric, I'm going to try to be vague for Aiden's sake, but like talking about Aaron's character development, how he's been both the most consistent and like yet still going through character development over the course of this entire show is just incredible. Like, there are a few characters where you're like, you have evolved and changed and gotten better at what you do, but you have stayed core to what you were at the beginning so much, it's actually wild.
Yeah.
It's such a tightrope to walk, and so few things carry it out well, and it totally works here.
I still remember catching you guys up, and early on, you guys like, does Aaron do anything? And you just keep getting captured.
Does he do anything? Looking back, and now it's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all hyped for Attack on Titan final part.
Yeah, bro,
3.
dare.
Final chapter prologue.
But anyway,
Good stop point.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, Aiden, did you? So Elden Ring, we're still working on it. It's still really good.
Elden Ring. Yeah. I mean, aside from playing Elden Ring, all I've been watching is Peaky Blinders, so I'm fucking boring.
Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, it's a good show. Definitely worth a watch if you're like into some 1920s crime family shit.
Yeah, I think I brought it up when you said that, but my dad actually loves Peaky Blinders, and for a long time has tried to get me to play it. So play it, Jesus. Watch Peaky Blinders.
Watch it.
I would say it's definitely worth a watch, honestly. It's it has been very good so far. Like it has been an actively riveting show for me, which not a lot of things do
Mm-hmm.
that often. So, it is unique in that sense that it's actually enthralled my interest for quite a while. So, it's I would definitely recommend watching it. It's been a roller coaster of fucking emotions.
Nice.
That's it.
Do we have
That's
anything?
it.
Okay, I guess we're done. Tyler wants to go to bed, so we're gonna end it here.
I don't know. Do we got anything else? It's
I-
not that I
no,
want to.
no,
I'm
I
just
know.
curious. What do
I'm
we got?
kidding.
What do we got?
Tyler, we could do a like one of those music breaks, and you could watch Attack on Titan in 10 minutes. Then we just start recording again. And
Oh God.
no, I'm kidding. For next time, we'll have initial thoughts on a whole bunch of the next season of anime. I think at least.
Oh boy, hot off the presses.
Get ready for another extended Weeb shit.
Hell yeah. But until next time, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
Bye, Maiden.
And thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you guys next time.